Okay. Hello, Internet, and welcome to Weekly Shonen Jump Review. I'm Hero.
No, you're not.
Oh, I want to be the hero for once. I'm Fonzie. This is Hero. Get it for now.
I was wondering what will break first, your spirit or your body?
But it was my mind that broke first. Anyways, this is Weekly
Then
Shonen
it's
Jump
your
Review.
spirit.
And this is for the month of March.
March Madness!
Good Lord, double NCA. Anyways, we have a little bit shorter this week since a couple of manga will not be introduced, and we don't really have a bonus manga this week either. However, we do get to at least start off with the climactic battle between Sani and Tommy Rod and Toriko. And as we left off, Tommy Rod is getting ready to pull off all of his armbands, which keep all of his real muscles from bursting out.
By the way, I might get his bug transformation reference. It's Frieza in his second form.
Well, even so, he goes completely berserk on the Parasite Lord and, slices it up. Pretty much stating the fact that he doesn't care as long as the bugs serve a particular purpose. And of course he notices that the Satan hair is also a gigantic hurdle to leap over. But of course is not fast enough to notice that the Satan hair is even faster than he is, which actually tears off his arm completely. However, Sunny seems to have a problem controlling it, seeing as how he's just only activated. Well, of course, Tommy Rod has been in the Byoshukukai much longer and has noticed this kind of power before. He then notices that the appetite that it's made out of has only just been released recently, so he doesn't know how to completely control it yet. He uses this to his advantage as he whizzes and dodges away from Sunny's Satan hair. Of course, even though that Sunny tries to keep up with him, the fact is Tommy Rod has compound eyes, like his insect way of fighting suggests, and fortunately for him, compound eyes are essentially multiple eyes that you can use all at once. Directions, even memories. So basically, your eye could be in another place. Aside from all the science...
Take that, Sharingan.
Yeah, Sharingan. Yeah, you were so last year. Compound eyes, that's where it's at. However, even as he whizzes past, Sunny is still having trouble with it and decides to take off the Satan hair for a time, trying to see if he could trap Tommy Rod. However, Tommy Rod uses an egg bomb attack that completely destroys the area around it, which Sunny can actually capture him. Sunny then tries to skewer him, but doesn't realize that Tommy Rod's wings aren't just a simple fashion accessory. They could also become an impenetrable shield. And not to mention this is kind of weird. The arm that Tommy Rod had recently lost just grabbed Sunny out of nowhere and has started strangling him. This is because...
Has anyone seen my arm? If you can't miss it, it's polka dots.
And of course, Tommy Rod states the fact that he has filled his body with parasites, and now the very parasites can now control his arm, and have literally become a beast of a capture level higher than 80. And of course, this leads Sunny to be in a very precarious situation as he literally starts getting the shit kicked out of him. Badly. And of course, Tommy Rod does his thing by biting him and tearing off his hair.
And just to let everybody know, he has, multiple teeth like a shark.
Well, that's probably due to his impressive mantle. And then, of course, the ultimate of rape moves with his huge rape face. This doesn't even look threatening. It just looks like he's gone completely batshit insane.
He looks like he's high.
I bet. Yeah, he's high in the sky flying. And then proceeds to shove his fist through Sunny. I'm not kidding. He literally scares him through the...
Okay, of all the comics going on right now, what is with all the impalings by arm? Okay, Invincible did a lot of this, where they just stab each other with their arms.
I guess it's to show Tommy Rod's all-over strength that he could literally blast through somebody with such incredible force, especially somebody who's renowned as Sonny. However, Due to Sonny's unconsciousness,
His eyes. Okay, his face is getting more cartoony by the minute.
Yep, he's done being intimidating. Now all he does is look stupid. Stupid. As the Satan hair actually comes back and is ready to fight again, but in this case has actually entrapped not only Tommy Rod himself, but the arm that he was using beforehand. And of course this leads to one final bout, and this would be the final attack, a sort of samurai-ish or high noon sort of thing, at which they will both use one simultaneous attack and finish the battle. However, we end on that very note, so the battle will continue later on.
And we also begin with Bleach. Okay, like from this moment, just for this backstory, I'll actually read it because it's actually about Ichigo for once.
Yep, every bit of backstory from then on has been nothing about Ichigo. And of course that usually we do want to focus on other characters, especially to Taikubo's liking. The fact is that we barely know even an ounce worth of information about Ichigo's true past. And of course this is leaving off from when his father, Isin Shiba, sets out to go and investigate the matters involving murdered Shinigami in Karakura Town. And of course we start with two Shinigami on patrol, being of course met by Captain Shiba, which is kind of odd to see a captain on regular patrol. Kind of like having if you had, levels of Grim Reaper, this would be one of the few horsemen. And of course,
I like to pee in peace.
But however, we have another side story to get forward.
We actually get to meet Ichigo's mother, who is actually engaged to, she's in a forced marriage with a Quincy, because they need to
continue the Quincy line. However, for most people unaware of the fact that this is actually Uryu's father. Of course, that's the biggest part about it, but of course, in his own way, doesn't feel that he should marry her only for the fact that he feels that she wouldn't be happy as that. Being that she's forced to do this and being given strict training regimens, he doesn't really want her around because he feels that though she deserves to have some freedom, not being forcibly down by other people's chains.
And she's so cute!
Yep, she seems to have an engrossing appetite and a very shining personality, which of course means that eventually when she dies as Ichigo's mother,
it'll be sad.
Yes.
Now, as far as forced marriage is concerned, okay, I'm one of the people who doesn't think all forced marriages are bad, depending on the situation. Because let's say you have like two countries at war with each other. And if a forced marriage between a prince and a princess, will stop a war, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, but in this case, it's simply just to continue a line of Quincy's, which have been dying out and at this point have been a huge detriment to the spiritual world. No matter how you look at it, the Quincy's destroy souls and spirits, not revert them, unlike the Shinigami Zanpakuto. And as we come back to Isin and his hodgepodge crew of Shinigami, we then notice that he's getting ready for battle. Something seems to be amiss. However, this amiss comes at a cost. Both the Shinigami that were at Isin's side have been cut down.
Decapitation!
This isn't even decapitation. His face has been
cut in half.
Cut in half. Not his head. And all by
probably the most awesome looking, what do they call them again?
Hollows.
Yeah, probably the most awesome looking hollows. But the thing is, when we see his mask,
it's the same mask as Ichigo's.
Yeah, it's the same mask that Ichigo used. So I'm willing to bet that he has something to do with Ichigo's power.
I have no idea, because at this point he seems to be incredibly powerful, taking on two Shinigami completely without any effort. And how he's going to deal with Isin is only anybody's guess.
And I and I swear I'm gonna be pissed if this is gonna be like a Nine Tails Naruto thing. You know,
I put the hollow in our sun. Aren't you proud of me, sweetie?
no!
I want a divorce.
I want an early divorce. No, you get to die.
Well, shit. And of course, we leave off on that note, and hopefully we'll see the battle soon. However, we have to get to One Punch Man going over crossover.
Okay, so we remember the last chapter where it showed two guys who look very alike, and apparently he's the mastermind behind the House of Evolution, and the girl was going through his backstory of how he was like a super genius, but he had like a superiority complex, and wanted to speed up the evolution of man. So,
but everybody, of course, looks down on him as somewhat of a
nut. So as he got older, he cloned himself, which they make it seem like every time he clones himself, he's literally copying himself. Which, by the way, cloning doesn't work like that. Every clone has its own personality. It's almost like having having your own son, without the mother's DNA.
Pretty much.
It doesn't work that way. And I'm not a science person. Even I know that.
And of course, our main protagonist decides to actually end that particular conversation with "cut the crap." And of course, because of the fact that the gorilla has been talking way too much, they just simply decide to go and take them on.
Wait. And probably the best joke in this chapter was that the gorilla says, "Our boss is interested in your body." Sorry, but I'm not into dudes. Gay joke.
And with the most serious expression on his face.
But what it actually means is that he wants his physiology. In other words, his advanced strength in order to create, like a Superman.
Well, he's technically already a Superman. He's bland as hell.
and purely white.
And of course, with the idea that the girl could possibly continue living, he doesn't.
No, and thus our crazy scientist has
an unfortunate breakdown of the sweats and
decides to bring out Carnage Kabuto. No, you can't. And what is he? Well, before we get to that, our two heroes find the House of Evolution and just blow it up.
Seriously, they blow it up.
And even Saitama's like, "What the fuck, man? Why'd you do that?"
And of course, because Genos is mere cyborg/android, we're still not completely sure. He may just have found the only appropriate and most efficient way of actually dealing with them.
But they actually find an underground a laboratory where one of the mad scientists gets killed.
One of the clones, and in probably one of the worst ways possible.
Yeah,
implosion through the stomach and everything going on through the back. Seriously, this gives Invincible a run for its money.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Killer Kabuto definitely looks pretty vicious.
It's, oh my gosh, it's Heracross!
Oh, I want that Pokemon. I'll trade you a Charizard for it.
And Carnage Kabuto is pretty weird. Like, he's psychotic.
Yep, it seems that he probably used somebody else's psyche in this experiment, and unfortunately took ones who's
he keeps calling himself Perfection, but our mad scientist disagrees. Since he's psychologically broken.
Pretty much. And of course, before our two heroes get into there, we have a little bit of a message for Kabuto saying that he wants him to kill both of them. And only beat up.
And the last panel has a Saitama picking his nose.
Of course, it wouldn't be Saitama
Dignity.
doing something. And of course, Dragon Ball picks up after Piccolo lost his arm, and now they're gonna do a whole bunch of flippy tricks and stuff, and now the Kamehameha is yellow. Not sure why, but of course we get the Special Beam Cannon.
Wait. This is reversed now, because... Okay, the Special Beam Cannon is like bright blue. Wait, what?
No, the Special Beam Cannon has always been a purple-like hue.
No, it wasn't. It was like... No, it wasn't. It was yellow.
I don't remember it being yellow, but the Kamehameha is definitely not yellow.
I'm not even sure if it is the Kamehameha wave.
Oh, that's right. It actually
Because he didn't say Kamehameha. He just draws a blast.
I need to re-show you that. By the way, please, if you're popular, subscribe to Team 4-Star. All right. And of course, then we leave off with World Trigger. And I gotta say, this is probably one of the most entertaining ones I have read thus far in the chapter.
Yuma is like... just making up lies about what happened and just making Osamu look like the hero.
He is undercover, so I do see why. But why he had to do it through interpretive dance? Not sure.
He was going like, he was all whoosh and then pow.
Yeah, but the dance choreography has to get interrupted by other border agents.
Who are late.
Yep, and they all seem to be of a higher rank levels from Saitama's.
And the thing is with Osamu was that he was forbidden to use his trigger since he's a trainee. And when the border members find out, I guess their leader was like, "Well done."
Yep, and it seems that actually June seems to also go to their school as well. However, it seems that not everybody is too thrilled on this one. And the only one who doesn't seem to be at all eased about this is Aya Kitora.
I think it's I.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not good at these names.
But yeah. But yeah. Let's just say she's the bitch of the group who is so strict of the rules.
Pretty much. She doesn't.
And I just love it when Yuma schools her. It was great.
Yep.
He just schools her.
Yep, pretty much. As soon as she's continuously going off on Osamu because, of course, he broke the rules, but he broke
rules.
But he had a real reason to break them. Yuma just continuously tells her off, and she tries to convince us.
Then why were you guys late? Ooh, bitch slap.
Yep. From everything else, from what triggers really are to their late arrival, and especially to the glory that Osamu gets for the kills, he seems to admit that she might, in fact, be just jealous of the fact that she didn't get any credits, or that Osamu got so much credit, and Yuma seems to be just adding to it.
And we also get an exposition that it was the neighbors who used triggers first. How that is, is a mystery for now.
Yeah, but aside from that, of course, they go back to school, and afterwards, Osamu doesn't really want to go back, knowing the fact that he might get punished, and still going on whether or not he can still be a border agent thing, seeing as how he nearly died at one point. However, we do get a surprising event as they try and leave the school. It seems that I is standing right at front of the gate.
You know what? Oh, she needs a nickname. Why not just a Bitchy McJealous?
Bitchy McJealous. Yeah, we'll see how the fans like that one. Please comment.
And now we move to Nisekoi, which this was a fun chapter as well.
It's all about seating arrangement. There's nothing interesting about this.
It was hilarious how, we're going to have a seating arrangements, and Chitoge is like, oh no, we're going to have seating arrangements. I'm not going to be with the boy I love, secretly.
So what? It's a seat. You're in it for about only 50 minutes. Why can't you just give it up for that amount of time? God! I can't believe this is a thing.
And of course she pretends that she doesn't care, but she does. And this is just pretty much to show that Chitoge really does like Ichijo. it just proves it.
It's funny, but this is probably sidetracking.
Oh, so yeah, like
She just keeps getting seated next to creepy guys, ones that have teeth, that put Bugs Bunnies to shame,
bug teeth,
and Frankenstein apparently.
Yeah. One of the classmates that's probably not even in their class. No, I love the teacher where she's like, "Oh, yeah, sure." Whenever someone complains about the scene arrangement, she just goes, "Yeah, sure, let's do the arrangements again." I wish they actually do draws. And I love the poses the teacher does. It's just so funny.
And of course, the most opportunistic of them, he ends up sitting next to all of the girls simultaneously after everybody keeps saying to switch the order. And of course, the last switch comes down to him being seated next to the girl that he likes.
And then you do the arrangements again, but of course, it's the last time.
And somehow we get strange visuals from textbooks that they decide to use from their desks.
Where Ichijo draws...
Where it gets a drawing of...
An ugly-faced girl, but still skinny with big boobs.
Not sure why it's in an English book, but then again, I guess the Japanese don't really care that much about English.
Well, maybe it's it's like their second class, and Ordina draws a really realistic drawing of Ichijo, which I think is funny.
This isn't realistic. That's Fist of the North Star. Don't give me that shit. It's essentially Ken.
And so basically people are still complaining about the seats, and they're going to switch for the last time, and Ichijo is going to sit with both Chitoge and Ordina. And everything is fine.
Nope, it's not. Shut up. Well, anyways, that is it for the weekly Shonen Jump review. And now, of course, we get into fairy tales.
Yeah, so I'm going to play...
Fairy time! We now get to Fairy Tale chapter 324. Wow. And of course, this being one of the more prevalent chapters, we get away from all the combat, especially from the magical tournament, and we get back to the rogue scenario. See what I did there?
Shut up.
Okay. That'll be good. And of course, everybody's asking of why Rogue is here. But, of course, before we get into that, we get a nice little reprieve from it and go back to the Princess and Arikados. And, of course, they suggest that opening the door would probably be the best idea, instead of using it as the cannon. And it seems that the princess will go through the gate instead.
This sounds like a bad idea.
Yep, that does. And of course, Gerard is on his way, especially with his guild. And of course, we go back to the gang, back down into the prison, asking Rogue questions about how he got to the future. He also seems to have also used Eclipse, but it seems that he also came back to the point where the Eclipse cannon was never fired. That's just the only thing. This starts to get weird because now all of a sudden everybody's saying something about the future of whether somebody went through the gate or not, or whether somebody used the cannon against the dragons. And from his timeline, it appears that the dragons have completely annihilated most of humanity.
And the thing is, the cannon was too weak at that time.
But aside from that, only Lucy knew of the dragons coming, and never knowing of the Eclipse Cannons project. However, of course, he states that there was one person responsible for the cause of all the
for all the dragons attacking, and apparently it's Lucy. And again, it's her fault.
Why is everything her fault? She's just a normal person, but of course Rogue tries to throw a shadow sword at her.
But the future Lucy jumps in and gets killed. And
Yeah.
it's all sad. We're all sad that the future Lucy died, but the present one is still here.
Like I said before, man, it's just that the image of Lucy has literally just died. You want to see the main female protagonist die? I don't think so.
But we also notice that on her left hand, she doesn't have her fairy tale symbol.
And of course, that may be the fact that she may have either not been a part of Fairy Tail in that particular timeline,
Or she's a fake.
Regardless, this fake has just died and added to the very slim roster of people who have actually died in this series.
And Natsu is pissed.
Well, you be so because, of course, those two are the closest of friends.
You killed my girlfriend!
I guess we'll go with that.
And
of course, decides to use...
he uses fire and lightning for this one. Awesome.
Yep, no kidding. He decides to go full out on this one because I'm guessing that killing somebody of your friend is not a good idea, especially when it's not.
I'm just gonna say the Natsu and Lucy are an item now because I mean, come on, it's totally obvious.
Well, we'll see what the artists are, what the author has.
How much do you want to bet that by the end of the complete series, Natsu and Lucy will marry just like in Rave Master?
How much you won the bet?
I don't know.
I don't have. Well, see, I don't have a soul, so I don't have a soul to wager. But I do have
Your
my
apartment.
ego. I don't have. This isn't even my apartment, you dope. Nope. So I can put it up for that. Okay, tell you what. I will give you my entire collection of One Piece volumes if they don't become an item at the minute, and that has to include.
Why do I want your One Piece volumes?
I don't know what you value. Fine, I'll buy you a lifetime supply of beard combs. How's that? How's that for a wager?
Fine, whatever.
Well, that seems to be it for Weekly Shonen Jump review and the Fairy Tail chapter review. This is Fonzie,
And this is Hero.
and we're signing off.